Hey guys, it's Tickle. In this video, I'm going to go over a few updates coming in 7.2, specifically the artifact trait and this sexy mother effing mount. It's beautiful. So starting with the mount, this is the, what is it called? The Farseer's Raging Tempest. So right now in the PTR, you can hop on, get a quest right from Dalaran. It'll give you the achievements you need to get flying in the Broken Isles, and then it'll quickly put you on a quick chain quest for the this mountain. It's a very quick scenario. It's actually pretty fun, but back in the, I think it's, what, Throne of Four Winds, back in that cattle raid, basically. But anyway, once you get this mount actually will change the appearance depending on what spec you are in. So right now this is the elemental visualization, so it's all fiery and red and awesome. And if I switch to enhancement, what you'll see is now I have to find it again. Farseer. Now when I look at it, as you saw in the preview, now it's much more electric. It has blue eyes. It's pulsing a lot of electricity around. It's more wind-based. Wind Fury and all of that for enhance, so it's pretty cool. Switching over to show you the last one, Restoration. Restoration is supposed to be more watery than it is right now. I was talking to some people here on the PTR, and I guess there's the expectation is that Blizzard is going to update this a little bit more. As you can see, it looks a lot like the enhanced version of this mount. The only difference is it's a little bit more watery and it's a little bit more tinted green. It's like they just applied a green filter over it. As you can see, when you run around, it's pretty cool. He like lowers his shoulder and you're running, and you're kind of like surfing on top, which is, I don't know how else they would do it with how they've created the seat. As you can see on the top, it's just a platform. It's not like a saddle or anything like that. So those are the three different visualizations for the new mount, the Farseer's mount. I'm going to go back to the elemental one because I think that's the sexiest one. So this will hopefully, this will be, part of the whole release of flying in the Lost Isles. And so on the PTR right now, if you want to go check out what it's all about, come grab your class mount, no matter what class you are. You can try this out. The visualizations will, I believe, should change for all of the different class mounts depending on the spec. But here, as you can see, I'm flying. And it's great. I'm not going to spoil too much about some of the other quest lines that you can do. I think it's actually pretty exciting what they're doing in 7.2 for the PvE content. But I'll let you guys explore it yourself, or at least be surprised when it gets released. But right now, I mean, look at it. It's beautiful. So the only other thing I wanted to bring up in this video was the artifact traits. So in 7.2, there are going to be several new artifact traits coming out for shamans, for every class really. There's going to be one new gold trait and then a bunch of other non-gold traits. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to pull it up here and say, hey, look, check it out. But it looks like they've they've deleted the NPC no Farseer Nobundu. As you can see on my map, I have the quest to turn in the chain quest, which I farmed up all day today. But the NPC is not there. So in that case, we're going to have to use a calculator to kind of show it. And as you'll be able to see in this calculator, they probably don't have it in because they have. It seems like they're still making a little bit of decisions for what some of the maybe the scaling on some of the abilities are. But the only other thing I'll say while we're in game right now is that all these different abilities, instead of being only 3 points, they're going to be 4 points. All of these guild artifact traits will now be out of 4 points and not 3 points. So a little bit more scaling. I'm a little nervous that this is going to run into the the same thing that happened in 7.1.5, which is overscaling people's damage. But I guess we're just going to have to see what happens with the new traits and the new ranks of levels. So, and kind of as you've guessed, this is going to be a lot more farming for artifact power. Yeah, I know. But at least they're increasing the artifact knowledge. There is a chain quest on the island when you start doing stuff for Khadgar. I'm not going to go into it, but it basically allows you to continue learning your artifact knowledge up until 40, which is a big jump from 25. So we're going to be getting a shitload of artifact power coming up. Now, switching gears, this isn't the best way. This isn't the way I wanted to show you guys, but I think it's important to now share this information. I wanted to show you in game, but unfortunately, that's not available for shamans right now. So this is the new artifact tree that for the Fist of Rodden. So There will be some changes. For example, here it only shows you out of 3 points. It will be out of 4 points. All of the artifact traits with 3 points right now. Specifically on the Stormkeeper's power, this is actually going to max out at 1 now, increasing all damage by 5%, and that's where it's going to stop right now. We're able to put it above 20. This is going to be replaced with these new talents that are new artifact traits going along the side here. So as you can see, going through this one by one, the first trait is Power of the Earthen Ring, increasing all damage by 10% and all stamina by 10%. That's actually a pretty big buff in terms of percentile damage output. I'm not sure how this is going to scale in PvP, specifically because I know damage is very high right now, especially after the patch 7.1.5. There was a lot of flack about damage being out of control, so I'm not sure how this is impacting all classes, but specifically the Elemental Shaman, I'm glad to see a little bit of an uptick in damage after the Ice Fury nerfs that were hot fixed after 7.1.5. The next trait is Elemental Destabilization. This is increasing the effectiveness of Elemental Fury by 5%, going up until 20%. And as we see, Elemental Fury, this is your damaging critical strikes deal 250% damage instead of the usual 200. So this is for when we crit, so all of our lava bursts while Flame Shock is applied. This will now, with 4 points in that artifact trait, do 270% crit damage, which is a pretty big buff, seeing as we use a lot of procs right now for lava bursts. So that'll always be crits, and that will be very high crit numbers coming out of that. Going back to the tree, the next talent is Swelling Maelstrom. Increases your Maelstrom and maximum cost of Earth Shock by 25. This is going to increase the damage of Earth Shock, since the Earth Shock is based off the consumed Maelstrom. This will raise our default Maelstrom to 125. And if we take into consideration Elemental Attunement, which is a honor talent that increases the maximum Maelstrom by additional 50, now we're talking 175. This could significantly increase the damage of Earth Shock, especially once this is our bars fully filled up with Maelstrom. I'm curious on how much damage that's going to do. I can't test that right now because, again, the artifact traits, I'm not able to get them because the NPC isn't available. But just thinking about this, it could lead to a few interesting variations in specs for PvP. The next talent is Seismic Storm. When Earthquake deals damage, it has a chance to cause Lightning Strike, dealing 0 nature damage. So this is why I actually think that the NPC is actually deleted, because they haven't come up with this or balanced this quite right yet. So this is basically saying whenever we cast Earthquake does damage to a target, it has a chance to cause an additional lightning strength damage to that target, dealing a certain amount of damage. And that's, I haven't seen anything about this yet in terms of videos or how this is going to play out or what it even looks like. I'm mostly curious what it looks like. But hopefully that's going to come soon, and hopefully quickly on the PTR, so that we can test things out. There were some blue posts saying that things are pretty finalized in terms of new content updates on the PTR, so I'm a little concerned that I can't get these artifact traits yet, but hopefully that'll change soon. By the time this video comes out, it will probably be updated. The next artifact trait, and the last artifact trait, is Concordance of the Legion Fall. So everyone all the specs of everybody and all their artifact weapons have this. So this goes from rank 1 to 50, similar to how the 1 to 20 was, weapons power was done in 7.1.5 and 7.1. This is now going ranks 1 to 50 that you can input here. So this is increasing your abilities have a chance to trigger Concordance of the Legion Fall, increasing your primary stat by 2,000 for 10 seconds. So as you can see, every time I put a point into it, it's increasing by 200. This is a pretty big buff to your primary stat. Interesting, because this is a different approach than what they had done previously, which was increases all damage. So that's output number, and this is all damage is being increased by 5% flat, versus they are now buffing your primary stat, so intelligence is going up. So how does that affect damage? Is that the same amount of percentage? Not as much. It's hard to say how the scaling will be different compared to how it was previously with the max artifact, additional damage here, like 5%, 5.5. I'm curious on how this will work out in the Sims, but I guess we'll just have to see how that plays out once people can actually play with this talent. So guys, that's really what I wanted to cover today, just to highlight a few different updates coming for 7.2, which is going to be a pretty massive patch in terms of PvE content, possibly PvP content, flying out in the Broken Isles, class mounts, new artifact traits, artifact knowledge. I mean, there's a lot coming, and I'm not going to be able to capture all in this video. I'm covering what's up for Shaman. I might do a video for Druids and Mages since I'm starting to play them a little bit more. But let me know in the comments what you guys think of these changes, if you're excited for this beautiful class mount, and what you think Illidan's up to. I mean, no spoilers, but I mean, he's doing something. He's out there. I don't know what he's up to, but let me know if you guys think he's a good guy, bad guy, and if you think he's going to be the big bad of this X-Pack. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.